Welcome back to another part of me finding a directory on my external hard drive that I should have cleaned up a long time ago. And this is how to install Davinci Resolve on Pop! OS. The version of Davinci Resolve is older in this video because it was like 8 months ago or whatever when I recorded it. But all of the principles are still the same. You just change the version number to whatever the newest version is. So, how to install Davinci Resolve on Pop! OS. Enjoy. You found yourself here because you want to install Davinci Resolve 16 on Linux, and when you went to their website you noticed that you can download it, and you can download it for Linux, but you didn't really think about the fact that this was designed for CentOS, and we're running Pop! OS. So if we just open the terminal here, you can see that we're actually running Pop! OS, and you'll fetch this is Pop! OS 20.04, and when you download the file you'll notice that you get a .run file, and those don't exactly work on Pop! OS. So first thing we want to do is we want to download it. Okay, so once you fill out the registration, it'll just automatically open. So what we want to do is we want to save this file. So now while this is saving, we're actually going to go over to this other website, which is designed specifically for making a Deb file for Davinci Resolve. So it works on Pop! OS. We'll go over here. I will have all of these linked down below. Make Resolve Deb. So now we can download this and we're going to save it as well. Now, while those are downloading, we're going to take care of some other stuff here. We have to install a bunch of dependencies. So we're going to type in sudo apt-install libssl1.1, then space ocl-icd -opencl-dev space fakeroot space xorriso. I'm going to hit enter a password. And now we want to hit yes to install all of these. There we go. All the dependencies are now taken care of. These files are now done downloading. You can open the download location, which is downloads. I'm going to open this first one here, and we're just going to extract this to downloads. And now we're going to do the same with this. Let's drag that one over. Perfect. So now we have our 3 files here in downloads. We won't need any of these after this is done, which is why I'm just doing this all into one folder. Ideally, something you can do is just make a folder. Okay, so now we have this folder, and now we can literally just take everything, put in the folder. Nice and clean. In here we have all of our files. So I'm going to open up a different terminal shell on this desktop. So now we're going to change the directory by typing in cd, and we're just going to drag that folder over so we have the entire directory. And now we're in this folder. So now that we're in this directory, all we want to do is we want to open the script make resolve deb. So for this, we're just going to type in /make resolve deb. And then from here, we want to enter 16.2-3 because that's the version of Davinci Resolve that we're going to be using this for, which is this file right here. So then we're going to type in .sh for the script. And now this step here is important. We want to either type in light if we're using the free version or studio if we're using the paid version. So I'm using the free one, so I'm going to type in light, and now it's doing its thing. It's making the deb file and everything's fine. It may create more files in here, which it's doing right now, and there may possibly be some issues at the end of it not being able to remove everything if it can't get permissions to do so. However, that's not an issue because you can literally just delete this entire folder after this is done and you have nothing to worry about. Now, if you're sitting on the screen here and you're thinking, okay, like it must have froze or it crashed or something, just be patient. It's going to take a while. Even my computer is taking its time on this portion, and this is an i9-9900K. So by no means is my computer slow, and this process still takes a while. So go make a coffee or something, get comfortable. Okay, there we go. We are done. You can see that we have our new Davinci Resolve 16.2-3 AMD64.deb. We have it ready to go. So now that we have the deb file created right here, this guy, now we can just open this with Eddie if we wanted to. However, I'm still going to do it in terminal just because I've run into issues with 19.10 not actually being able to install this correctly. Just having minor issues and stuff like that. It just doesn't scream clean successful install to me. So we're going to do it through terminal. As the previous time that I've done this, with 19.10 through terminal, it worked perfectly. So this is the first time with 20.04, so anything can happen, but I'm just going to show you what I did here. So we're going to type in sudo dpkg -i so we can install it, and now we're just going to type in the package name, Davinci Resolve _ 16.2-3 AMD 64.deb. Now it's unpacking the deb file that it just created. And there we go. Now we are done. So we can just close everything. Snap up to the top here. Davinci Resolve. So now we can open it. This screen here, at least last time this happened, it lasted a while. It crashed on me. I told it to close instead of waiting. Okay. There we go. Welcome to Davinci Resolve is not responding. You may choose to wait a short while for it to continue or force the application to quit entirely. So I quit and it just opens. Perfect. And now for me, that was the only time this happened, and this is the only issue that I had. But after this point, it works perfect. One thing to consider if you're switching to Linux and you're going to be using Davinci Resolve is that it doesn't use any of the H26 and then X format. So H264, H265. For Linux, at least in my testing, I've only used .mov files, and those are the only ones that have actually worked for me. So now we can just open a new project. If we try and import one of these screen recordings, we can import, we go to the video folder, OBS, and then in here, I have OBS set to record as MKVs. MKVs also do not work. They have to be .mov. One thing I'm just going to show you quick here is that we're going to open a new terminal shell, and we need FFmpeg. I have OBS installed, which requires that, so it's already installed, but if you don't have it, just type in sudo apt-get install FFMpeg, and then hit enter for it to install, or if you want to make it faster, just to put a dash and a Y, because it'll automatically say yes to the next command, and it'll install FFmpeg, and you're good to go. So now that we have FFmpeg installed, we can actually use that to encode these video files. So in here, OBS, we have these files here. So these first two are the ones that I've been doing for this video. The third one is the one that's currently recording right now. So now this is a really long string to type in, so I have these copied. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop this open here. So these are the commands that I've saved. So if you want to convert an MK4 file to MOV file, you're going to be typing all of this in. And then the only thing that you're going to be doing here is you're going to change the file name from input to whatever you want the file name to be for output. Next, we have the one for MKV, which is the exact same process. All you have to do is just change these names. I'll have all of this in the description if you want it all. I can actually leave this text file as something you can download, so you can just copy and paste them from the text file. And then once you have them in MOV, you can also only export and render your videos in MOV. So you can upload them to YouTube like that, but it'll take a while. So if your upload speed for your internet is really slow, or you don't have a very good package, you can encode it from MOV back to MP4 with a very close compression for YouTube itself. So there's almost zero processing once it actually uploads to YouTube. So the first one, we're going to be taking this one here. We're going to copy that, and now we want this file. So we're going to go to terminal. We're just going to navigate to this directory. So we're going to go to the directory that the videos are currently in right now, and we're going to type this whole command out, and then we're going to go all the way back to here, and now we're just going to take this file name and we're just going to paste in here. And to paste in terminal, it's Control-Shift-V, and copy is Control-Shift-C. So you just add that Shift key if you want to do this in terminal. And now for the output file, just for testing purposes, I'm just going to leave it to say output so we know which one it is. Okay, so there we go. So now we have our MOV file. Back to Davinci Resolve, we can import media. Now we can import this MOV file. And I'm just going to leave this, so we're not going to change it. And now we can drag this down here, and there we go. Now we can edit in Davinci Resolve in Linux, and everything is fine. And now, say I wanted to take this file here and I wanted to upload it to YouTube, I can just take this one here, go back into terminal, and I'll just type all of that back out there. And we'll just say that one's going to be called youtube.mp4, and the file that we're doing is output. So hypothetically, let's say that this would be the file from Davinci Resolve that you've rendered and it's done. So that's the name that you would put here. Then at the end here, this would be the one for your final video that you're going to be uploading to wherever, YouTube, whatever you want. And now it's making the file here. Done. Open that in VLC, and it's open, and it works. That's fine. And there's almost no compression at all to these. So from the original here, 2.6 megabytes, huge file size here for the MOV files, which is why no one wants to use them, but a huge file. And then back here, 13.8 megabytes. From this tiny little file to one that is editable, and then one that is compressed for YouTube, all within terminal, ready to go for Davinci Resolve. This line here for this one, this works on both H.264 and H.265. So you can use this with either. So for me, I record on a Panasonic GH4, which is H.264, and if I went and got a 5S, which is H.265, I can use this to convert either video file from either camera over to an editable MOV file. And now one more thing before I forget. If you want to resize this window at all, because there's no like status bar or whatever at the top, you can't drag the window around or anything, so you have to hold Alt and then F7. That's going to allow you to move the window around. So Alt, F7, and then you just move the mouse. Don't click it or anything, just move the mouse around. And then you just hit enter to save the position. You can also resize it by doing Alt F8, and then you can use your arrow keys, so we can go up to the top, and then we can kind of drag that down or over to the side, drag it in, down, go to this side, make that a little bit smaller, and then just again enter to save. And now we have this window, so then Alt F7, and we can drag it around. Hopefully that kind of helps you out a little bit there. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have it full screen, but you have options if you need them. But anyway, that's going to wrap this up. So I hope you found this helpful. Hopefully something in here was beneficial towards you in actually getting Davinci Resolve working on Pop! OS, as well as converting your video files to a usable format for Davinci Resolve, so you're not pressured into buying that $300 version just to have compatibility with H.26x formats. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm not telling you what to do.